すみませんね。緊張する。シンガポールのようこそシンガポールのイベントへ。今日は皆さん本当にありがとうございます。本当に嬉しいです。ちょっと待って。始める前に皆さんは元気ですか？よかった。もう食べましたか？まだです。お腹ペコペコですね。今日のトークは英語にしますんですけど、ワリスさん、私の言ってる翻訳をします。
です。
はい。自己紹介しますね。私の名前はアミンと申します。24歳です。はい。おじいさんで。でも、シンガポールから来ました。じゃあ始めましょう。すみませんね。皆さん、今から英語にします。Hello everyone and good morning to all of you who have come to the Singapore Multicultural event. I am very thankful and grateful for everyone who have attended to this Singapore Multicultural event. Very thank you. Today, inshallah, we'll be going through about Singapore, okay, as a Singaporean speaker. So these are the table contents. First, we'll be going through the introduction, and then Singapore, and then about Islam, and then the food in Singapore, and today's menu, what everyone will be eating today, and then the conclusion about Singapore as a country, and then there will be a Q&A question time, and then lastly will be the content and feedback.
Okay. 毎度ご参加いただき誠にありがとうございます。で、今回はですね、シンガポールについての交流会イベントを、開いてますが、今回さっきのこの説明としては、話をしようとしてるのはさっき今イントロから、その後シンガポールについての若干説明、そしてイスラムというのは何なのか、あと食べ物ですね、今日の料理とか何を用意してるのかというの説明ですね。あと最後はまとめ、そして質問タイム用意されてますので、ぜひ質問いっぱい聞いてください。聞いたら、何かみんな分かってるのかなというのは、こっちから分かるので、いっぱい何の質問でもいいので、ぜひ聞いてください。最後は、感想とかを聞きたいので、よろしくお願いします。
Okay. So for introduction, my name is Muhammad Al-Amin bin Muhammad Iskandar. I am a Singaporean English speaker. I am currently a final year student of Quran and Sunnah Studies in Islamic Science University of Malaysia. はい。
で、彼の名前はモハマド・アル・アミーヌでございます。で、モハマド・アル・アミーヌが今、マレーシアで、マレーシアのイスラム科学の大学で、コーランとか、あと預言者サラレスの言葉、スンナという言葉について、今、勉強中です。
So, later we'll be showing about what's behind me over here. And, yeah, inshallah.
後ろ、何があるのかというの説明もこれからです。ワクワクしてください。
はい、now talking about Singapore.
自己紹介を細かい
nanti ada. So Singapore is situated at the tip of the Malay Peninsula, and it is consists of one main island and a bunch of small ones.
はい、シンガポールといったら、結構国といえば国なら結構広いとかみんなすぐ思っちゃうんですけど、シンガポールはそうじゃないです。本当は都市ですね。シンガポールといえば、ここの小さなちっちゃい国で、あと、周りに島とかも含めてシンガポールと言います。
In medieval times, Singapore were encompassed by Srivijaya Empire of Sumatra.
はい。昔ですね、スリーベジャヤ王国の一部でした。はい。
So during that time, trade enriched the empire and riches, as they usually do, attracted predators. Srivijaya Empire declined in the 1025 CE by the Indian Chula Empire from 1025 CE to 1026 CE.
はい。では、シンガポールは昔ですね、そのスリーベジャヤ王国、結構豊かな王国でしたので、豊かにやるほど、他の敵を招待する進める。で、そういう形で、スリーベジャヤが亡くなったのは、インドのチューラー王国の手入れです。ここですね。ここから、ここまで船で来て、やってた感じです。
Now next is how Singapore came to become Singapura. So Sang Nila Utama, said to be a descendant of Alexander the Great, arrived on the island after a storm and saw a lion. He then built a city there and called it Singapura, which is Sanskrit for Lion City.
で、シンガポール、どうやってその名前が出てきたのかというと、サングニラ・ウタマという人が、アレクサンダーという、偉い人の既存かもしれないという話もあるんですけど、嵐に巻き込んで、やっと土にたどり着いたとき、ライオンを見たという話があります。で、サンスクリット語でライオンというのはシンガーですね。で、都市というのはプラ。タミル語もちょっと似たようなシンガプラムというがあるので、そこからシンガプラという名前が出てきたんです。
Now, what's odd is that lions are not part or native in this part of the world. It may very likely be a lion on vacation.
そもそもそこ、本当はそこ、ライオンとかはいないんですよ。で、多分、休憩休んでいるライオンを見たかもしれないという話です。
Singapore marks its history by transforming from a fishing village into a global economic powerhouse. Originally, it was a Malay territory. Then it was part of empires like Srivijaya and Majapahit. And moving on, in the 19th century, the British made it into a trading post due to Singapore's strategic location or for porting.
で、本当はシンガポールのは何なのかというと、昔は漁村でした。小さな釣りをする村で。そうなのに、今現在見ると結構強いイメージ、結構豊かなイメージが出てますね。で、どうしてその漁村から今の現在までどうやってきたかというと、昔はマレーシアの国の一部でした。本当は。で、同じくいろんな王国に含められていたんですが、19世紀でイギリスの植民地時代、結構いろんな国行ったり、攻撃したり、盗んだりしてたとき、シンガポールもその中になんという負け込んだという話ですね。
In the 19th century, rubber was a key export in the 19th century.
19世紀で輸出品としてシンガポール何をやってたかというとゴムですね。
This is a very interesting part of the history of Singapore. Do you know what happened in the 20th century?
シンガポールに関して20世紀に何が起こったかというのを知ってますか？ご存知ですか？おー。他の誰か？世界戦争。その他に says World War.
The 20th century brought increased modernization and the Second World War, in which the Japanese invaded and occupied Singapore. The Japanese were also at war with China at the time, where they were mostly angry with the Chinese. They won the battle but lost the war. In 1945, the British returned to power but lost their prestige.
そうです。第2回世界遺産が20世紀のメインでしたね。で、その中に日本はその時シンガポールに攻撃させたり、あと中国を同時に中国にもしてたので、結局負けた感じですね。で、その後1945年に負けてる状態で誰もいなかったので、イギリスが入ってきたわけです。
Singapore, after that, was soon booted out of Malaysia and became an independent country. In 1923 to 2015, Lee Kuan Yew, the first Prime Minister of Singapore, and under his extraordinary leadership, developed into a thriving and economic nation.
はい。その後、シンガポールは完全に独立した。マレーシアからでも、他の王国からでも独立して、その後、リー・クアンユー、シンガポールの、大統領最初の大統領のおかげで、結構今の強いイメージが来ました。経済的にも、はい、ビジネス的にも。
Chewing gum also was banned in 1992 due to public littering and vandalizing public property. Public transports were disrupted due to chewing gum on doors, seats, sidewalks, or movie theaters. The ban aimed to maintain Singapore's image as a clean and orderly city-state and to regulate personal behavior for the greater good of society. So, めちゃめちゃ悪いね。
はい。で、面白い点というのは、昔は結構ゴムが輸出してた国なのに、チューインガムが禁止されました。なんでかというと、みんな食べ過ぎてというか、どこでも貼ったり、ゴミ化してたので、イメージ的にはシンガポールのイメージ、綺麗な街というイメージがなくなっていたので、それを防ぐために禁止しましたという話です。
Now, we'll be doing a size comparison between Singapore and Japan.
シンガポール、さっきちょっと小さいと言ったんですけど、日本と比べたらどれぐらいだと思いますか？はい。推測してください。何でもいいんで。なんか2倍、シンガポールの2倍が日本とか100。はい、524倍ですね。
はい。
そうなんだ。There's a place called Awajishima. It's the same size. Singapore is the same size as Awajishima.
わ
いえ、ありがとうございます。勉強になりました。大阪の同じ大きさ。
はい。めちゃめちゃ小さいね。
改めて小さい国です。
So the female and male population, the female consists of 49.6% and the male 50.4%.
はい。国の、男性と女性の間のバランスが平等だっぽいです。人口的に。なんとなく。
Now about Singapore's language. So Singapore has many spoken languages, but the most national language for Singapore, okay, we'll be finding out later. So Singapore is a multilingual and multicultural society, and several languages are spoken in the country. So English consists of 37%, Malay being 10%, Mandarin 35%, and others consist of maybe Russian, Philippines, or Indonesian, or many more.
シンガポールは本当に、多文化と 多言語、言語がいっぱいあって、本当に数えないぐらいですね。だから、マレー語とか、英語とか、マンダリン語とか、中国語ですね。が、普段みんな喋ったりします。はい。でも、英語が、共通語として使われています。
すみません。The pie chart is not showing. I don't know why.
バグってます。ここ、もっとなんか、チャートが出る。
Like this one, but
出てないです。ご迷惑かけてすみませんでした。
Now, why English is the official language for Singapore?
はい、英語が共通語であっても国の言語にもなっています。公用語。それなんでかというと、
So it is to attract tourists and foreigners, and also invite foreigners aim to attract investments in Singapore by capitalizing on its global hub status. English is both the administrative language and part of the bilingual education policy in Singapore, which is taught alongside the mother tongue in schools.
はい、さっき言った通り、共通語が英語になっているので、それも同じく公用語にしたらみんなには楽という考え方もあって、そして英語だったらいろんな国からも人が来て、そこで慣れやすいとか生活しやすいので、いろんな国から人を誘いたかったので、それも一つの理由になってます。で、そう言われても、学校とかで英語だけ教えてるわけじゃないです。英語とマレー語、英語と中国語とか、そういう形になってますので、はい、普段は誰でも言語が2つぐらい話せるという話です。
Next is our national flowers for Singapore.
シンガポールの国歌は何なのか。
So Singapore's national flower is Vanda Miss Joachim. It is Singapore's first orchid hybrid and Vanda hybrid.
はい、この花です。
はい。
で、名前がワンダーミスホーキンで、すっごく綺麗な花ですね。はい。
So in 1981, the Ministry of Culture formed a national committee to select a national flower. After 40 types of orchids and consideration, they finally thought of picking Miss Joachim because the orchid shows its resilience and Singapore spirit and year-round blooming quality.
はい。で、なんでこの花を国家、その国の花に選ばれたかというと、これがシンガポールの性格を表示しているという、どうやって表示しているかというと、年中、これどこでも見ることができるんですよ。で、だからシンガポールに住んでいる人とシンガポールのその頑張りやさで負けないという表現しているということですね。
So finally, we are going to the best places to visit in Singapore.
はい、みんな待ってたですね。で、シンガポール行ったらどこ行った方がいいとか、それの説明です。これが。
So the first one is Marina Bay Sands. So Marina Bay Sands is a iconic hotel and entertainment complex with a stunning rooftop and a pool and panoramic views of the city.
はい。で、これがマリア・ベイ・サンズ。多分みんなどこか写真で見たかと思うんですけど、なんかビルの上に船張ったみたいな感じなんですけど、超有名です。
Right, so here's some of the pictures of Marina Bay Sands in the night time.
はい。まあ、夜の景色ですね。で、プールもこの一番上ですごい大きいプールが入ってるっぽいです。
So this is how it looks like in the night time as well as in the morning.
はい。で、朝頃。
Next is the Merlion Park, which shows the iconic symbol of Singapore, which features a statue with the body of a fish and the head of a lion overlooking Marina Bay Sands.
でマールライオンの公園ですね。で、ここ、有名なのは何なのかというと、この像です。体が魚なんですけど、頭がライオンの頭ですね。はい、でこれがマリーナベイを向けている。日の出とか見れるという。
So you can see that Marina Bay, or the Merlion is facing towards the Marina Bay Sands, and the sunset is very panoramic for tourists to come.
日の出じゃなく、日没みたい。すみません。
Next is Gardens by the Bay. So Gardens by the Bay is a futuristic botanical gardens featuring the impressive super tree grove and the cloud forest and the flower dome conservatories.
はい。で、未来のその公園、はこのスーパートリーグローブとクラウドフォレストとフラワードームで本当の自然から作られて自然の形をするというのが目的でした。
So here's what it looks like when you go in the morning as well as the night view.
で、朝と夜、そう、アバターみたいですね。I mean, here's a question.
Right.
Is it inspired by the Avatar movie?
わからないよ。
Which came first?
I think the Avatar came first.
Yeah, so is it inspired?
I'm not sure.
I saw that.
Next is the Sentosa Island. So it is a resort island with attractions like Universal Studios Singapore and the aquarium and beautiful beaches.
はい。で、セントーサ島ですね。これもリゾート島なので、そこにUSS、ユニバーサル・スタジオス・シンガポーもいて、あと、海館はい。もう、海浴館。水族館。すいません。水族館もあります。
So you can see that this is the Sentosa Island is quite big for Singaporeans. So they have the beach area and the pathway where you can use the cable car to go from one station towards Sentosa. And then these are the roller coasters from Universal Studios.
はい。で、普段、日本だったら、電車とか、駅から駅行ったりするんですけど、その島では、駅じゃなく、ケーブルカーで、ある場所から他の場所にみんな行くっぽいですね。
でも、めちゃめちゃ高いね。Next is Jewel Airport, Singapore, which is the iconic place for tourists to come. So it's famous for its stunning architecture and a unique combination of nature and entertainment.
で、これがチャンギ空港ですね。超有名な空港で、世界で、毎年、世界で一番綺麗な空港というプライズを毎回買ってますよ。まだ負けていないです。
Next are the honorable mentions about Singapore places to visit. The first would be Singapore Flyer, Singapore Zoo, National Museum of Singapore, and Sultan Mosque Singapore.
はい。で、ここにまだ写真載せていないんですけど、これ以上もっと綺麗な有名な場所があるんですけど、例えばシンガポーフライヤーとか、シンガポーの博物館、そしてスルタンモスクシンガポール、シンガポールの動物園もです。
So Singapore the Singapore Zoo has the iconic Cha-Cha and I forgot the other name of the panda, but they are one of the most visited animals for tourists to visit, the pandas. And they have a newborn child as well. Next is the white tigers, as well as the I don't know what bird species this is. So.
What's the name of that?
Chichi.
チーチーという、
チャチャ
チャチャというパンダ、そして白のトラで、名前知らないんですけど、この鳥もです。アフロ持ってる。マイハート。
This is the Singapore flyer. You can somewhat compare it to the flyer when you go to Kansai Airport. There's another flyer as well. はい。
これがシンガポールフライヤーですね。水族館にも、日本の大阪の水族館にも結構こういう大きいのがあります。
So you can see that during the night time, if you manage to go up the Singapore flyer, the view is quite panoramic and very nice for you to be with your family or if you have your wife or with your friends as well.
インスタに載せるためにみんな写真撮りに行くっぽいです。
So this is me with my friends. So Alhamdulillah, I managed to get it with a coupon. So me and my friends managed to take the Singapore flyer and took a lot of pictures together.
で、アミンは誰ですか？はい。クーポンをもらって、このフライヤーを使うことになったという話です。結構高いから、運がいいね。
Here's what it looks like. But the quality could be better, but the TV does not project as well. はい。
そこからの景色ですね。
How much is that?
I went there with a discount price. So I'm not sure whether it is 20 or 30, but still expensive. はい。Which is about 3,000 yen. But if it's not discounted, I'm not sure how much it will be. But I don't want to think about it.
After discount is $30. Oh, that's expensive.
Yeah. So if you go with your wife, you can have a meal together, a romantic meal. Yeah. If you want to calm her down, you can have dinner in a very nice place.
夫婦喧嘩の後、超おすすめだっぽいです。
Next is the Sultan Mosque, where many tourists come to visit because of the iconic mosque being centered around the streets area, as well as many tourist shops and many Arab cuisine shops, as well as even Japanese shops. Ichikokudo, I'm not sure whether Japan has Ichikokudo, but they sell Japanese halal ramen as well.
はい。で、日本にないハラールラーメンはそこにあるだそうです。で、これがそのスルタンマスジドで、周りにある道で、ハラール料理だったり、あと文化的なお土産とかも買えます。
So this is around the Sultan Mosque area when you want to go towards Sultan. So the streets is filled with many cultural shops as well as tourist shops, and this is part of China for Chinese to shop about Chinese tourist items. This is the mall heading when you want to pass by and walk towards Sultan Mosque.
はい、で、さっき言った通り、多文化の国なんで、結構中国からの人も結構来たり観光客として来ますので、 その中国からのお客様に買えそうなお土産がこの道に売ってます。はい、
Now next, we'll be talking about Islam.
次はイスラムについてです。
So how did Islam came to Singapore? It was suggested that Islam was present in the region as early as the 14th century. Singapore, being a trading hub, attracted merchants and traders from various parts of the world, including Arab traders who brought Islam with them. The influence of the Malay Sultanate in the in the region, particularly the Malacca Sultanate, played a significant role in the spread of Islam. The sultans and their courts were instrumental in promoting Islam among the local communities. Over time, Muslim communities migrated and settled in Singapore, contributing to the growth of Islam in the region. These communities often played a crucial role in trade, cultural exchange, and religious activities.
はい。で、シンガポールにイスラムがどうやってたどり着いたのかという話によると、歴史の本で記録されているのは14世紀からイスラムがそこを結構復活しているという普及しているという話ですね。で、なんでかというと貿易が昔からシンガポールが貿易が強いので、貿易のおかげでいろんな国から人がシンガポール来て、そこに住んでいる人と混ぜてそのままイスラム教も教えたり普及し始めたという話です。で、昔はさっき言った通りシンガポールは独立する前にマレー国の一部だったので、そこに住んでいたイスラム教の人からの影響もあったという話です。
During the colonial period, Singapore was part of the British Empire. The British policy of non-interference in religious matters allowed Islam to continue flourishing alongside other religious Islamic institutions such as mosques were established during this time. Next is the post-independence. After gaining independence in 1965, Singapore continued to embrace its multicultural identity, promoting religious harmony. Islam, along with other religions, is recognized and practiced freely in Singapore. Islam came to Singapore through early trade. The influence of Malay rulers, migration of Muslim communities, and historical development during both colonial and post-independence periods. Today, Islam is a major religion in Singapore with a diverse Muslim population contributing to the country's culture.
はい。で、その後植民地時代でイギリスが宗教的な話とかその文化の的な話には入らないだったので、みんな自由にどの宗教でもフォローしたり勉強したりすることができました。で、独立した後もシンガポールは多文化を優先して様々な人がそこに自由に住むことがそういう社会を作りたいということがあったので、今現在そういう夢がたどり着いた。はい。
So about the special thing and unique thing about Singapore is that although we have different beliefs, we respect one another. In Singapore, Islam is 18%, Buddhist is 26%, Christians 17%, other religion 9%, and those who are atheists or no religion is 22%.
はい。で、シンガポールで無宗教の人が22%で、イスラム教が 18% で、仏教の人が 26% ですね。一番大きい。で、その後キリスト教は 17% で、あといろんな他の宗教、例えばヒンズー教だったり、タオイズムだったり、そういう宗教が全部で含めて 9% になってます。はい。
So there's no discrimination amongst race or religion. So example, we can share with each other. Last time the Chinese shared with the Malays, we shared nasi lemak. Next we will share lanzo beef noodle. And next, we will share the Indian's nasi biryani.
はい。で、本当に差別、宗教的な差別、文化的な差別がないように作りたかったその社会ですね。で、そのおかげで、誰とでも、どの料理でも、どの服でも着てたり、話し合ったり、出会ったりすることはできます。
Next is the principles and values of the Singapore Muslim community. Singapore's success in managing racial and religious relations and thereby achieving commendable social harmony is widely recognized.
はい。で、多文化の国だったので、宗教の自由というのを本当に優先しているので、なんか分けているわけじゃないです。たまたまいろんな国に行くと、なんかこの宗教の人がその場所だけで住んでたり、そういうことが全くないので、どの宗教でもどの文化の人でもどこでも住む。みんなと一緒に住む。みんなと一緒に学校行く、そういう流れです。
So the city-state has achieved a level of racial and religious harmony due to strong leadership, governance, and shared values. For the second, Singapore is a multiracial and multi-religious society. Therefore, racial and religious harmony is vital for Singapore's social cohesion. So in the Quran, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, لا ينهاكم الله عن الذين لم يقاتلوكم في الدين ولم يخرجوكم من دياركم أن تبروهم وتقسطوا إليهم إن الله يحب المقسطين. Allah does not forbid you from dealing kindly and fairly with those who have neither fought nor driven you out of your homes. Surely Allah loves those who are fair. This is the beauty about Singapore, where we are able to live with one another and even share our values with respect.
はい。で、価値観、シンガポールの価値観で、プリンシプルというのは、表現できるなら、この文からですね。で、これがコーランからの文で、ここ書かれているのは、アッラーが禁止されない。何を禁止しないかというと、あなたを攻撃しない。家から出されない人に、正義的に住んでいくのは禁止してない。なので、アッラーがこういう正義的に住む人を愛されます。ということですね。
Right. So this is how we are able to have interfaith events, and as well as eating with respect with one another and enjoying each other's companies. So this is during the month of Ramadan, and this is during fasting as well. This is the Muslim community having good relations with the Buddhist religion.
で、これが、宗教から他の宗教の間での、イベントというか、例えば、こういう祭りが、宗教の祭りだったら、ぜひ他の宗教の人も参加することができますという。ここが、ラマザンで断食終わってからイフターのみんな食べる時間で、他の宗教からの人も参加したりしてます。で、ここもそういうものなんで、ここは仏教の何かの祭りでイスラム教の人がそこを参加しているという話です。
So this is an event where the Malays, the Chinese, as well as the Indians exchange outfits with one another.
いいですね。これがあるイベントでインド系の人と中国系の人とマレー系の人が他人の服装、伝統的な服装を試して着てるっぽいです。例えば、この人が今、ヒジャブを着てるのに、ここがサーリー、インド系の服を着たり、ちょっと楽しそうなイベントです
ね。This is being celebrating with my Chinese friend as well. So I invited him to celebrate it with me.
すいません。
So this is my Chugoku Tomodachi. はい。
はい。で、これが、イードというイスラムの祭りで、アミンさんが彼の友達、中国人の友達を誘って、ワイワイしてる写真です。
Next, we'll be going through the clothes and attire in Singapore. So this is what you will usually see Singaporeans would be wearing, because Japan has winter, has the autumn. Singapore is only rain and sun. Yeah, so you'll be seeing men wearing singlets, or even just a formal t-shirt, or just a normal t-shirt with shorts, or even with slippers. はい。
はい。で、日本で、春、夏、秋、冬っていうの季節が分けてるんですが、マレーシアだったら、シンガポールだったら、暑いと雨という2つの季節しかないんで、で、夏、秋、冬、春という感じで、着る服はあまり変わらない。
But the ladies are very versatile, so they can mix their formal attire with their casual attire as well. The same goes for the Muslim ladies as well.
で、男性の普段着はそうだったのに、女性の普段着は結構いろんな文化も混ぜて、あとカジュアルからフォーマルというのも混ぜて、結構いろんな形をするという話ですね。
So as a Muslim, I also apply the same attire as well. So just a normal t-shirt, as well as my traditional Malay outfit, which is the baju kurung.
Which is you?
Which one do you think?
アミンは誰ですかね？ This?
Yeah.
で、着てる服はアミンさんも普段フォーマルといえばマレーシアの伝統的な服を着たりするという。
Also for Singaporeans, for the Malays, they also can wear this as their formal or casual attire as well, whether it be mosque or meetings or any other events.
はい、どのイベント、どの時でもこういう服を着れる。
So you can see that I myself am wearing my own kurta or baju kurung for a formal event. So
で、今、正式なイベントなのに、伝統的な服を着てます。で、今着てるのは、ブレザーの中に着てるのはバジクロン。で、クルタという服ですね。You want to remove your shirt and show?
so later. Actually. So Singapore also has some similar attires with Japan.
日本に似たような服もシンガポールに人々が着る。
So the formal attires is not that different or not far from the Japanese as well. So you can see this is what Japanese would usually wear. This is what Singaporeans would wear. Just a formal but short sleeve and as well as a tie, or without a tie as well as a long overhead shirt.
ビジネス的な服は日本とは全く変わらない。
So for the ladies or the Muslims, just is very flexible. You can see just you add the blazer and it adds everything looks formal. はい。
はい。で、女性の場合は同じくブレザー、コート、スートという形なんですけど、その上にヒジャブをかけるという話。
Alhamdulillah, we are now going to talk about food.
Yay!
So in Singapore, we mainly have the halal certificate about using the Singapore's government halal shop, as well as we use Malaysian's halal certificate, as well as the Thailand as well.
はい。で、ハラール、そのイスラム教の人が食べれる肉という話なんですけど、それを管理している団体が3つあって、1つはシンガポールのハラール団体で、2つ目はマレーシアの、で、3番目がタイ国のですね。はい。
So the first one, as a Malay, nasi ambeng is a traditional dish in Singapore that is often shared among family and friends. It is a special meal featuring a variety of dishes served on a large platter. The centerpiece is usually fragrant rice surrounded by side dishes like fried chicken, beef or fish, vegetables, and sambal or spicy chili paste.
はい。で、これがナシアンベングという伝統的にマレーの料理なんですけど、シンガポールには超有名。で、料理に入っているのは何なのかというと、ナシといえばご飯ですね。ご飯と、インドネシアの人が多分知ってると思うんですけど、サンバル、超辛い、お腹がすぐ痛くなる、ならないはい。で、サンバルとか、あと、肉とかも入ってる。で、カレーも入ってますね。
Next, Singapore has this thing called kopi si kosong peng, which is iced coffee with evaporated milk and no sugar, which is a popular local order at local coffee shops. So you can see over here that many types of coffee orders that you want: coffee with iced coffee with no ice, coffee with milk, coffee without milk, coffee with sugar, coffee without sugar, macam-macam a lot. はい。
はい。で、これがコピーシーコソンペンというコーヒーなんですけど、シンガポールで、アイスコーヒーです。プラスチック袋に入って、ストロー入って、そのまま持っていける。グラスじゃなく、コップじゃない。
Next is the chili crab, which is considered one of Singapore's iconic dishes, representing the country's vibrant culinary scene, and is special for its unique blend of spicy, sweet, and savory flavors, creating a delicious and distinctive taste. So this one is the original chili crab. This one I think is the black pepper chili crab. Of course, there's also a halal version for it if you want as well. Alhamdulillah, I managed to taste it, and it's okay to go once in a while, but it's very takai.
はい。で、これがチリカニという料理ですね。で、種類として2つあって、普通のチリカニと、あと、これが、ブラックペッパーのチリカニです。で、彼が1回食べたことがあって、高すぎますという報告でした。
Still, about the beauty about Singapore is that accessible halal food is nearly everywhere. So you can see halal nasi lemak, which is owned by a Chinese, who later became a Chinese Muslim. And then there's a Chinese shop as well selling seafood. And then there's the Malay community incorporating the Chinese mala food towards the accommodating the Chinese as well as the Malay community as well.
で、シンガポールでハラール料理、どこでもあるという話で、それはシンガポールと例えばマレーシア料理に限っているわけじゃないです。中国料理もハラールになってて、インドの料理もハラールになってますので、イスラム教の人が、自由にどこでも食べることができます。
Now we are talking about today's menu.
本日のメニューですね。
So we'll be serving kaya toast, which is a hawker center staple, featuring Singapore's culinary heritage. You can find kaya toast in many hawker centers, making it an accessible and beloved snack enjoyed by people of all ages.
はい。で、これがカヤトーストという料理ですね。で、本当にスナック、サンドイッチみたいな形をするんですけど、誰でもみんな好きになる料理です。It's done for today?
はい。
今日用意されてます。
So it features a coconut kaya jam, and you can eat it with coffee, and usually for us we eat with soft boiled egg.
で、トーストで卵とか、あとココナッツのジャムと食べます。
Next is the main dish, which is Hainanese chicken rice. Tender poached chicken served with fragrant rice and accompanied by chili sauce and ginger paste. But the one I usually eat is the very spicy one. So for the Japanese, we'll be accommodating for the spicy level.
はい。で、普段はめっちゃ辛いというハヤニースのチキンライスで、チキンが入ってて、土生姜ペーストとか、あと唐辛子が混ぜて、ちょっと普段は結構辛いんですけど、今日はそんなに辛くないので、ご安心ください。
And lastly, we have the satay. It consists of skewering and grilling of the meat, marinated beef, often chicken, beef, or lamb. It reflects the multicultural heritage of Singapore with influences from Malay, Chinese, and Indian cuisines coming together in a harmonious blend.
で、サテーですね。これがスキュワーで、肉としては、牛肉、チキンとか、あと、マトンですね。作られてますが、味は、シンガポールといったら、インド、マレーシア、そして中国の味が混ぜて作った料理ですね。はい、これも今日、用意されてます。
Now about Singapore's festivities. So Singapore, we have the Chinese New Year or other festive occasions. It brings good luck and prosperity. The lion represents strength, courage, and good fortune in Chinese culture. So you can see the Malay community or even the Indian community wanting to try out in performing the lion dance, and this is a group of Malays interested in wanting to perform the lion dance as well.
はい。で、これが中国のニューイヤーの祭りで、ここは普段中国の文化から誰も参加できない、他の人が参加できないという話ではありません。自由にインドの人とかマレーシアの人とかも参加して、そのライオンの踊り、みんな参加します。
Next is Hari Raya, also known as Hari Raya Aidilfitri, where you spend together with your loved ones expressing gratitude, seeking forgiveness, and dressing in new clothing, sharing meals, and giving to charity. The celebration emphasizes on unity, compassion, and the joy of breaking fast after a month of self-discipline and reflection.
はい。で、これがハリーラヤ。他の言葉で言うと、イードルフィトルですね。断食1ヶ月終わってからみんな祝うその祭りです。で、その1ヶ月頑張って断食したので、それを自由に祝うことは、そのハリラヤという祭りです。
Next is the Indian festival, Deepavali, known as Festival of Lights. It represents the triumph of light over darkness and good over evil. It's a time for joy, gratitude, and family gatherings. So you can see the neighbors celebrating Deepavali together, as well as Singapore's Prime Minister, who is Chinese, celebrating Deepavali with the Indian community.
で、これがディーパーワリーというインドの祭りです。ここは祝っているのは何なのかというと、悪がなくなった。悪をなくすという祭りで、それでキラキラライトついたり、で、服も同じですね。
Next is Singapore National Day. Everyone you would see there will be mainly mixing around with other races and religion. So you can see the beauty about Singapore National Day, where you put aside your differences and celebrate together as one united nation.
で、これがシンガポールナショナルデーといって、独立した日ですね。ここは学校とか見たら本当にどの文化、どの国の人も混ぜて祝う祭りです。
Now, next is about the myths of Singapore. The first one is all Singaporeans are rich. Okay, so while Singapore has a very high standard of living, not all Singaporeans are wealthy. Like any other country, there is a range of income levels and socio-economic backgrounds. Next is Singapore is always hot. Singapore has a tropical climate. It does experience occasional rainfall and can be cooler during the monsoon season. It's not scorching hot at all year round. For the first one, an old lady with $300 or $300 is ちょっと待って。3,000 yen. 3,000 yen, she can last a month in Singapore.
おお。
はい。
3000。
3万円。
あ、30,000。
30,000.
30,000
ありがとうございます。
はい。
And this is a person who is not working, so she lives alone. So it's very, if you are a teenager with $300, it's impossible to live in Singapore.
はい。で、みんな大金持ちではありません。はい。ということで、年取った人3万円で1ヶ月暮らせることはシンガポールでできます。まあ、若い人はできない。30,000 は
$300.
30万。
But that's only if you eat at if only you hang out at the hawker centers. So it really cutting it close. But as me myself, because it's very impossible.
あ
はい。
嘘でした。30万円だそうです。
More expensive. More expensive.
Hawker center, no.
But generally, the cost of living is higher than Japan.
Yes. But yeah.
So you should just stay in Japan. No comment.
No comment.
So Japan is cheaper? Same.
Maybe the apartment, because it's too.
Apartment, I think Japan is more expensive.
Oh.
They have the HDB, right?
But it's getting more expensive. If you want to get a 3-room flat,
Singapore is that they say it's their own house, right? Japan is that we are there. Rental house. Yes. They were very difficult to compare.
Yeah. But Singapore HDB 3-room flat is already 1 million and above.
1 million.
Last time was 300 to 500,000, which is okay for a just married couple. But if you just got married, and you have to queue up for your time to get the room. 3-room, 1 million is very expensive already. And you have to wait a certain age, then you will get your time to get the house.
It takes time to get houses there. Like,
you have to queue.
Like the whole country.
After you reach a certain age, for example, if you're 25, I'm not 25 yet. If you are 25 or above 35, then you can get your own house. If I want to get my own house, I need to rent.
簡単に不動のところは結構厳しいですね、シンガポールは。で、新しい家を買いたいというのであれば、最低でも25歳まで待って、その後順番的にできるという流れになってます。
So we reach the conclusion for Singapore. So what makes Singapore different from other countries? Singapore carries the free and liberal attitude with acceptance, which is the secret of tolerance as well. The first one, each race keeps or maintains their own culture and tradition. The second, even though we have no specific identity, we practice and bring up our tradition in festive events. A third, Singapore is highly diverse with a multicultural population.
はい。で、シンガポールと他の国と何が違うという質問があったら、1番目ですね、その文化を守る、その宗教を守るというのは、政治の勤務じゃなく、それぞれの宗教の人だったり、その文化の人だったりが守る必要があります。で、2番目は、例えば日本だったら日本の文化というのがあるんですけど、シンガポールだったらシンガポールの文化というのは全くないです。なんでかというと、結構混ぜすぎてますから、本当にいろんな国とかから人が来て、そこに今住んでるので、でも祭りの時とかだったらみんな自分の文化を表現する。で、3番目はさっき言った通り、人が多文化の国ですね。だから人口もそれに合わせてバラバラです。
ちょっと待って。This one ni tak ya? This one no need. So Singapore is a religion with no official state religion. Singapore has policies promoting a shared national identity. And the sixth, the Singapore flower is representative of the harmony among our ethnic communities.
はい、で、国の宗教というのがシンガポールにないです。で、5番目は、シンガポールの政府の法律とかは、その国自体を貢献与えるように作られてます。なんかその民族だけじゃなく、国全体的に発掘できるようにしてます。で、最後はシンガポールのさっき話してた国家ですね。それは本当に多文化の一緒に住んでいるというのを表示しているという話です。
はい、that is all. ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございました。
So now is the time for Q&A. Anyone has any questions?
はい、質問タイムです。どうぞ、ごいっぱい質問投げてください。はい。
シンガポールでは、イードとか、ニューイヤーズデーとかは祝日になるんですか？
So in Singapore, festivals like Eid and New Year's, are they government holidays or not?
はい。
For all religion festivals are そうですね。どの宗教の祭りであっても、それが祝日になってます。
The thing about Singapore is that if it's Deepavali, the Indians are giving or Hari Raya, the Malays are given holiday. But if you want to work, you get paid extra. But if your supervisor is Chinese, he will ask you, "Are you sure you want to work during your festive holiday?" So the supervisor has already that Singapore mindset of taking care of the other race or religion.
So they'll ask one person to work. Let's say if it's Deepavali, they might ask a Malay or a Muslim person to work on Deepavali, and he'll get paid more.
Not paid more, but
Because public holiday is to pay the extra, right?
Yeah.
そうですね。祝日は、どの祭りであってもみんなに与えられるんですけど、例えば、ディーパワリだったらヒンズー教だけの祭りになっているので、その時マネージャーがあるムスリムの人に仕事をさせたら、それを受けたら、もちろんそれに合わせて給料ももらえます。倍買いした給料ですね。
Any more questions?
In Singapore, there is a couple or more cultures and religion, right? So, isn't it hard to follow or know the rules?
Rules.
Horus.
The peraturan.
The rules.
Do you have any example?
Like, for example, Muslim, they can touch the man.
I think that's the beauty of Singapore is that everyone already has the understanding of each other's religion. So if a Chinese man wants to like give just a simple greeting during the meeting, he wouldn't show his hand towards the Malay. If it's a woman, if it's a man, it's alright to hold. But if it's a lady, he would know to hold back his hand and just say hello or assalamualaikum or give greetings to that person without shaking the hands. Yeah. So the beauty of understanding each other's religion in Singapore is very strong for everyone there. I hope
understanding by the government or only by people they learn by themselves.
Both. Right.
Government.
It mainly starts from the government and then it spreads towards the communities.
Any religious that will get penalty?
Can I have a question? I have a basic provocative question. So you live in Singapore and Malaysia, right? Which one do you like? So, 挑発的な質問なんですけど、シンガポールとマレーシア住んでるんですが、どちらがいいかっていう。
日本。
似てる部分がすごく多くて、だからマレーシア人はマレーシアプライドもありますし。
日本人ね、I think the security in Singapore it's there. For Malaysia, it's not that high compared to Singapore because in Malaysia you can still give rasuah. You can blackmail, but bribery. For Singapore, you exceed the speed limit, you get fined. There's no other way around it.
But I heard there's a lot of Singaporean exceeding speed limit in Malaysia and didn't get caught.
Because they are rich. I'm not rich.
So overall, which one do you like better? Honestly.
I like Malaysian currency. It's the simple stuff. Really. I'm a simple person, so McDonald's is getting more expensive. So an $8 or $7 cheeseburger, which is which is about 21 ringgit.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah, so it's not. I'm also not a fan of McDonald's because it's getting more expensive. I used to enjoy eating McDonald's in Malaysia because they offer like 5-piece chicken for 21 ringgit or 19 ringgit, which is you won't ever get it in Singapore. So
Okay, so it's Malaysia then.
in terms of food,
In
terms of food,
I understand.
but some food Singapore is good as well. Yeah,
Okay.
and the transport wise, Singapore it's easier because it's small and macam side. So yeah.
Do all Singaporeans have visa to? I mean, can they just enter Malaysia anytime, or like Malaysia, Indonesia, or it depends?
I've been through that problem once. Because it was COVID time. I managed to live there while applying for visa for 2 years, which is actually illegal. Yeah, but it was COVID, I think, and my visa was being held by the custom. So if I go back, I'll be in prison. I don't know, but from Negeri Sembilan, I went to Johor to sleep with to go home with my aunt. And then when the COVID period ended, the borders opened, I had to walk from the Johor custom to Singapore custom. it was a great experience actually. And I managed to sleep at Marina Bay Sands Hotel.
Oh,
So it's a one-time experience. Yeah. If I want to go there, Marina Bay Sands on a normal day, that's never. Because I think one night is, I think already nearly 1,000 or more. Yeah. Yes.
so in the end, how much is that? Juma. Ippaku. Juma.
Any more questions?
いいですか。いろんな人種の人とか宗教の人が共存してるっていうのが分かると思うんですけど、学校の教育とかどうなってるんですか。
So in Singapore, you have people from different cultures and different religions studying, right? What about the school education? How are they taught?
So in government schools, there's always the 4 main languages: English, Chinese, Indian, Tamil, English, Malay. So the Chinese are able to take the Malay exam or the Tamil exam if they want to. It's an optional choice. So the Chinese or the Malay as well is it's optional for them to take Tamil or Chinese. It goes the same way around. And then there's a separate education which is madrasah school where there's no Chinese or Tamil. So we just learn Arabic and English and Malay.
はい。で、シンガポールで教育制度が2つあって、1つは普通の学校で、2番目はマダルサ教育ですね。で、マダルサ教育だったら、中国語とタミル語とかは教えられない。逆にアラビア語と、they also English?
Yeah.
English and Arabic for マダルサ、アラビア語と英語で教えられます。が、普通の学校だったら、so tell me this, is it compulsory, let's say a Tamil person, is it compulsory for him to learn Tamil?
I don't know. I've
In your case?
I didn't need to learn Tamil or Mandarin.
Okay.
So, but I don't know if the Tamils have to learn Tamil compulsory or it's optional for them as well.
But English is compulsory.
English is compulsory for everyone.
はい。で、英語が学校で絶対勉強しないといけないんですけど、他の言語、例えばタミル語とかマレー語とか中国語とかは、選択することができます。勉強したいならという話で。はい。
制度は同じ、日本と同じ6年、3年、3年です。
In Japan, we have the way the school system works is 6 years of primary school, 3 years of middle school, and 3 years of high school. So 6-3-3. So 6-3-3. So 12 years in total. How is the system in Singapore?
6-4-2 or 3. 6-4-2. 6-4-2.
6-4-3.
Oh, a degree. Oh, yes. This is primary, 6 years, 4 years of secondary, and then 2 years of polytechnic or diploma or pre-U, and then 4 years of university.
6
小学校6年間で、中学校3年、
4年
で、高校3年、その後、
大学、
2年、で、大学はその後、また別に。
いや、642ですね。
643じゃなかった。
643。So after the 3 years, 6-4-3, then you do pre-U.
6-4-2, 6 years of primary, 4 years of secondary, 2 years pre-university or diploma.
ここが2年。
高校学校ではない。
いや、okay.
I think high school is considered
pre-U? High school is pre-U?
High school is considered pre-U.
同じ高校も pre-U も一緒ですね。2年間。
Okay, any more questions?
Oh!
4つあります。I have, Hannah, four questions. 日本から何分かかりますか
How long will it take from here to, how many minutes does it take from here to Singapore?
Not hours, minutes.
How many minutes? You want calculator?
500 じゃない。bukan. No. 5,000
How many hours?
6 to 7. Yeah.
6 to 7 hours? 6 to 7 hours.
Oh, I take Scoot, so
3,600 minutes. 3,600. 6時間。
給食はありますか
In school, do you have lunch? Do like the school give you lunch?
they have canteens.
Canteen.
So,
You should buy yourself, right?
so you will from what I remember from my primary and secondary and as well as PU, you go through it's been a long time. I think 4 or 5 subjects and then there's breakfast or lunch. Brunch. Depends on the timing.
Lunch from school. So you have to prepare for.
You can prepare or there's a canteen which sells food.
You have to buy
はい。
and choose. 給食はないです。
So there's Western, Malay, and Chinese. I am brought up by a madrasah school, so there's only Malay. But if you go to the government schools, there'll be Chinese, Indians, Malay. Yeah.
先生は男の方が多いですか
The teachers, are they men or women? Who's more? The teachers, male teachers or female teachers?
Majority? Balance.
Oh,
両方同じ。いいですか ?OK。
ui,
かわいい。
handsome.
Any more questions?
How many people in Singapore?
6,287,000.
One question. Is it true that the best food in Singapore is imported from Malaysia?
What dish? What dish?
Or this is the only discrimination in Singapore?
What dish will be?
Political.
What dish will it be?
Sop kuning nasi lemak. What do you think? What do you personally think yourself? Maybe.
ここじゃなくて、
はい、ありがとうございます。I have to experience
いい香りだ。
veterans over here, so
He has to be diplomatic.
True. Has to be
but as a Singaporean, I like my mom's cooking, so Singapore.
I see.
Safe out.
Safe.
I would like to taste the Singaporean nasi lemak one day.
Inshallah.
We should have nasi lemak here today in this Singaporean event, yeah?
Any more questions?
質問お願いします。
Can you cook?
Kan mama. Mama.
Tamago.
Tamago.
Air fryer.
Water だけ。
変な質問かもしれないですけど、インドネシアの場合は、4人まで結構見てるんですけど、日本は1人ですね。で、マレーシアはちなみに、ごめんなさい、シンガポールはちなみにどうなってるんですか
？In Japan, you can only marry one woman. In Indonesia, you can marry 4 women, right? Islamically, 4 women. What about in Singapore? Are you allowed to marry more than how many?
In Singapore?
How many wives can you have in Singapore? Legally.
Yeah.
For Muslims, you're allowed to marry 4.
Yeah. It's the same.
Because it's under Muiz. But under national itself, it's just 1
So,
the Muslim marriage registered under Muiz. So it's the same system as in Malaysia.
How many people marry 4 times?
Yeah, of course.
You can't even afford 1
Afford monetarily and
Yeah.
emotionally also.
Yes.
And if you have 4 wives in Singapore, you have to be a very, very rich man.
Rich, and you have to be able to manage.
Yeah.
The pressure.
Any more questions? Okay. Hi.
he has a question.
シンガポールは私のイメージで強いイメージが中国の文化が強いイメージがあります。でも、how the real situation in China? How the real situation in Singapore?
So he has an image that Singapore has a very strong Chinese presence. What is the actual situation there?
If you want me to answer, the life needs to stop.
He'll answer it right before
any more questions?
Okay, we will finish the live.
Do you feel happy to have this strong Singapore passport? It's number 1, right, in the world.
I don't feel that strong. I just know it's a good passport. So I don't know. To me, it's just a normal passport. I'm just a simple man. So.
It's the money.
It's the money.
If you have the money, your passport is strong.
If you don't have the money, even if you have the strongest passport,
number 1 passport, you don't travel.
Yeah.
That's what Singaporean think.
Yeah. Actually, as a Malaysian, I feel the same also. Our passport is like number 9 in the world. We can go like 3 months. Yeah, like in Japan, you can stay 3 months before you need to go out and come back again. But also, if you don't have money to pay for the hotel and the flight, there is no use.
What's the point of having number 1
Correct.
passport in the world if you don't travel?
I have another question. Is Singapore the life, is it stressful life like Japan? Is it worse than Japan?
I haven't worked in Japan. But
Based on your perception.
It's the same roughly. I've mainly worked in Islamic companies or mosques. So the work life is a bit more flexible than Japan. You start at 8, you can end at 3. Because I'm a teacher. If you want to teach in a proper company, you can start at 8 and end at 6 or 9 to 6, which is just about the same as Japan, 9 to 5 also. So yeah, it's about the same. But the pressure from your peers or your supervisors is not that. I don't know whether Japan still has that toxic work culture or not. So yeah.
I'll be turning off the live.
Okay, the Chinese one.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for watching. To the viewers, thank you.
Answer his question now.